Welcome back to the 50 cal studio here at Center Target Firearms and Indoor Range. I'm Brett. This is Bobby.
Hey guys.
And Bobby, we're talking Wilson Combat and Sig Sauer this morning.
Oh yeah, the Wilson Combat Sig-Sauer WCP 320. Now we've got the 320 full size, we've got the 320 compact, both here, and some different variations of each. But this is a pistol that I will make a purchase of very shortly
Oh, I'm
after
sure.
having going back and shot this. And it is something else. After I don't remember how many rounds you and I actually shot through it back there on camera, but we shot tons after the cameras
Yeah.
went off, and the more I shot it, the more I liked it. It's something else. It is striker fired perfection.
And the from watching you, the recoil was non-existent.
Yeah, some of the things that really stood out to me whenever I shot this handgun, and I shot the three, and we've checked all these
Yes.
multiple times. But this is the actual handgun I shot, the 320 full size. It comes in a lot of different variants. We've got the optic cut, we've got the carry model, which is the shorter, I think 3.9, maybe inch
Sure.
barrel, 3.739. I can't remember exactly. The one I shot was the 4.7. Uh, Man, the things that felt so good about it, the grip, the way it felt, the way it handled. It was just like when you threw it up, it was there. It was, and I say throw it up. I'm not just talking about one of these motions.
Yeah.
I'm saying as I came toward the target, and I addressed the target and presented to the target, really awesome. The trigger was unbelievably smooth and fast, and the recoil, as you said, it wasn't a rising recoil. And I know a lot of these things have to do with grip and different things as well
Sure.
as you can manipulate them. But back here, we shot a lot of different types of ammo. We don't just shoot, a really mild reload or
Yeah.
anything along those lines. We shoot some hot stuff. We shoot some other stuff. We sometimes just manipulate our own grip so that we don't have the greatest grip in the world, just to see how the recoil is going to feel without fighting it.
Exactly.
And this thing recoils very linear. It even without utilizing a really good or great grip, I should say, it still doesn't have a tendency to rise like a lot of those other like a lot of other pistols do.
Good sight picture with it as well. Um, it's just the Wilson Combat sights are just fantastic.
Yeah,
And you put them on a Sig, it's just great.
yeah, it is, and we're talking about an already great product with the Sig 320.
Sure.
We have a lot of people that come in and in our USPSA competitions, they'll come in and shoot. My wife actually shoots one of the Sigs. I think it's the X Tac in USPSA competition. They're already a really really great gun. But Bill Wilson, who's known for 1911s,
Yes.
and Wilson Combat. They took an already great product and ultimately turned it into a high performance, uh, just work of art.
Yes.
Is for lack of a better term. The gunsmiths at Wilson, they completely reworked the chassis, and they remachined the slides, and you got a precision tactical shooting machine here
Yeah.
in this. And as we go through a lot of the different components of this, you folks will see that this is, what they've done to this is something else. But more importantly, if you come in here to the range and you actually lay hands on one of these, you're gonna be able to see everything that we're talking about, or
Yes.
feel everything we're talking about.
And that's the big thing with the feel of it. First time you grab one, and you've talked about this in other videos and so forth, you like getting a good purchase
Hmm.
on it, and it just fits really great. The texture of the grip, the way they do, like it's like a double type texture.
It is. They got a lot of different things going on here, and we'll kind of go through this. And before we start, as we said, we cleared all these. You got a couple of where we got multiple variants. You've got the full size version. You've got the carry version.
Yes.
You've got the optic cut and the non-optic cut. The optic cut comes with the higher suppressor height sights that you can co-witness with the optic, or you can get a threaded barrel and you can actually suppress it. It comes in two different colors for the frame itself, the modular frame, and that is I think they call it tan, but it's kind of an FDE
Yeah.
OD variant there, and or black. And you can get it in any of those different variants. You can also get it action tuned, which we'll talk about a little bit later, or you can get it just straight, the normal trigger they use with Sig, and you get the X-Tac straight or the curved trigger. So
Yes.
a lot of variables or a lot of variance there. But as we kind of work our way up, comes with two. It's only available 9 millimeter. Comes with two 17-round magazines, and this has been approved for production and carry optics in USPSA. So you talk about
Good
having
deal.
an unfair advantage if there's such a thing. I know we talked about staccato and,
Sure.
and, and XC being kind of an unfair advantage in a way. This too is and this is something else. This is going to make some noise, I think, in production and carry optics in USPSA. But as we go across the face of it here, across the 320, you look, it's got the beveled magwell here. So makes reloads much quicker under pressure of competition, or if you're using this pistol for self-defense purposes, self-protection. So that beveled magwell makes reloads, and it's smooth in there. It's not a matter of, a lot of times you almost have to take to some of these, or if you put that aftermarket magwell on it, you have to do a little bit of sanding or a little bit of work to make it smooth, and it's really smooth because it's all one piece. It's not a matter of multiple pieces going on here. A signature Wilson Combat Starburst design on the grip, and very tactile
Yes.
uh, finish to that. Now, this is not skateboard tape or really rough or grainy. It's just got some texture to it. But on the back, you do have, and on the front, you do have the skateboard tape. A little patch here on the front, little patch here on the back. You have got skateboard tape, but it's not taped to it. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
that's the feel it's got built into it.
And that's one of the great things about this. You get a double feel,
You do.
and from tip to top. I mean, you really got a lot of textured spots on it. That's
You do.
some cuts on the slide that you can really get a good purchase on it and just hold on to it.
Right, and if the front or the rear is too aggressive for some folks, a little bit of light sandpaper, and you can smooth that down a little bit. But uh, I really like whether I'm shooting with a glove, whether I'm just using my hand. I like the way that this pistol feels in my hand. It's got a very aggressive beaver tail here, very aggressive tang, back strap going up to the tang. And I tell people all the time when I'm teaching a class or whatever that the grip is established as soon as you lay hands on it.
Yes.
It's not a matter of grabbing it here and then working your way up. You want to be efficient. You get it as high as you. The way this design is and the way this feels, it's designed for when you reach to get it. Your hand almost wants to slide into what I'll call my first contact point.
Yes.
Whenever I'm establishing my grip, which is that webbing of the hand high on that tang or that back strap of the pistol. My second point of contact is this middle finger to drag along the bottom of the trigger guard, and I got two good points of contact. And as you can see here, not only do I have this with the very high back strap, I've got a very aggressive undercut here that middle finger. And if you're left-handed, obviously just you can reverse it because it's got some features on it that's going to work for either side. So I've already got a really good point of contact for one and for two.
Yes.
So now all I got to do is raise this thumb up to give this other hand a place to live. And if you see here, you've got a little indention here above the magazine release on this side and on this side. So I can, from an ambidextrous standpoint, I can change that magazine release over. But those are equal cuts that gives either my thumb, index finger, or vice versa. I mean,
Yes.
if I switch it over, it still gives those two parts of my body a place to live. It's got the accessory rail here on the front. You want to put a light, you want to put a laser, you want to put whatever you want to put on it. It's got a lot of different a lot of different things you can put on that. And I really like the trigger guard. It's got an oversized trigger guard, and for gloves, for just big fingers, whatever the case is, it's got a really good. I like the look. It's almost got an HK look to it.
Yeah. And that's important too to have a trigger guard where you can practice with gloves. That's a lot of people don't tell you this, but practice wearing gloves because you don't know how it's going to feel. It feels totally different.
It does.
But you need to practice with gloves as well, and practice getting that grip on the weapon.
Yeah, I mean, whether you're carrying it, whether the lady's carrying it in a purse, you're carrying it in your. I'm not advocating this, but carrying it in your coat pocket or
Yeah.
whatever you're carrying this in, your grip is established as soon as you lay hands on the gun. So when you've got this aggressive tang, backstrap, beaver tail here, when you come up on that, that's just automatically lends itself to having a good grip. And then the second one comes down here, it's going to fall in that groove. It can't help itself but to fall in here. So the module is the 320 already felt good to me.
Yes.
This one, and there's no way we can explain to you how good this feels. You got to come in and, my hands are bigger and it feels really good to my hands. A lot of folks with smaller hands grab it and they say that feels good to me. So it doesn't seem like there's any rhyme or reason why it fits bigger hands or smaller hands, but it is a really, really sweet grip and a really, really sweet module
Yeah,
setup.
and you don't realize how good it feels until you. I didn't know how good it felt until I actually picked up one and got a good grip on it and so forth. And as soon as you put your hand on there,
Yes.
you're going to feel it. The ergonomics of these things, whether it's for competition or carry, whatever the case may be, are just great. And you'll love them. I guarantee you'll love them because I'm already in love with them.
Yeah, same here. And they, as we said, this slide, it's in-house remachined slide by Wilson Combat. You got the cool Wilson Combat logo up here on the side, and also the serial numbers. Didn't mention this earlier, and that doesn't mean a lot to some folks, but the serial numbers of these start with WC.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool as well. But diamond-like carbon coating on the slide. Not going to get into a whole lot of the metallurgy of it because I'm not very familiar with the metallurgy of it. Other than it's got some stuff on it that keeps it from rusting.
What he's saying is we're not that smart.
No,
So that's what it is.
He is. I'm not.
No.
But it's corrosion resistant. The coating on is meant to withstand. Not that you would ever throw this in your center console or the
Yeah.
floor of your truck, but it's designed to withstand a lot of abuse. You've got your signature Wilson Combat X-Tac cuts in it. So whether you like to press check or charge your weapon or clear your weapon or whatever the case may be from up here or from back here, gives you a very, very aggressive tactile, whether it's slick, wet, whatever, gives you a very tactile grip. And then you'll see here on top of the slide as well, before and after the chamber, you've got some very aggressive X-Tac signature cuts there. The sights, the rear sights are just Wilson Combat Battle sights. The front, say, fiber optic sight. Very easy to see. Presentation on this pistol toward the target, and it just seems like it kind of falls into place. You don't really have to fight it, or I didn't have to fight it to make it kind of lay there where I wanted it to. And then as it shot, you had a good linear felt recoil, or linear recoil and very light felt recoil because of regardless of the way we held it or anything else.
Yeah, when we were back there, you're shooting this. I noticed the recoil was minimal. I mean, it wasn't like some of the others that we've shot,
right.
And it just really looked comfortable.
Yeah, and when we go back and we shoot, we don't just shoot soft, very low power factor, just enough to make it cycle ammo. We're going back there and getting a handful of anything and everything and throwing it at it. I mean, I'm not advocating this, but we're shooting steel case, we're shooting 150 grain, 124 grain, 115 grain. We're shooting, you name it. We're trying to throw it at this thing. We're also not every time we are getting a good grip periodically where, we got a good grip on this thing to try to assist with mitigation of recoil. But other times we're kind of doing just some crazy grips, some cup and saucer, some stuff that we're not advocating, but just to see how the gun feels. You can do things to manipulate the way the gun recoils.
Exactly.
But with when we're testing one out or when we're trying one, whether the camera's on or sometimes when the camera's off, we're gripping it in a lot of different variations just to see how it's going to recoil. And this one seems, no matter what we did as far as grip wise, seemed to be more of a linear recoil and a very light felt recoil. You could tell sometimes in the report the difference in the variations of rounds we were shooting, but a lot of times you couldn't tell a whole lot of difference from the felt side of the house as far as you were shooting, something really hot versus something not that much. The rod up here behind the dust cover, you can change that out too with a heavier rod, tungsten, something along those lines to assist you even more if that's something you need or you desire. But I think the way this thing is set up, as we said, it's to me it's striker fired perfection. And I've shot a lot of the other marriages between Wilson and other
Yes,
other guns, and we won't mention other combinations or other marriages that they made. But this one to me is my favorite from a
I think
striker fired standpoint. Man,
yeah,
it's something.
everything about it, I think, is mine too. And I see one on here I'm going to own someday. But they're just the whole ergonomics, the whole balance of the firearm, uh, whether it be whichever variant you're looking at. Um, Great magazines, of course. I mean,
Yeah,
they do a great job. Magazine, so everything about it. There's not a bad thing to really say about it because it just works and
right.
it's comfortable.
Now the trigger. We'll talk
Yeah.
about the trigger a little bit. Now the trigger's got your standard Sig X tack flat face trigger. You can get the curved trigger in it, but in addition to that, you can get the action tuned, and that's where Wilson Combat uses the Gray Guns triggers parts kit. Changes that out. It's going to change the way the trigger feels for you considerably. And a lot of times a lot of the disclaimers say don't change this trigger unless you're using it for competition or range use only and all those things. Some people still are going to. Those are
Yeah.
disclaimers they have for liability's sake, I'm sure. But it's an upgrade that I really suggest you do to it because it standard trigger or the trigger that's not action tuned comes out about 5.5 pounds. Still feels great,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
5.5 pounds is still not bad. Somewhere 5, 6, somewhere in that neighborhood. Depending also on where you address this trigger at, which we'll talk about a little bit later. If you get the action tuned, they put the Gray Guns parts and all that good stuff in it. That changes this thing down to about 3 to 4 pounds. And one of the things I like about the trigger is long, and you can see the trigger comes almost down to the trigger guard itself. Uh, you don't have to worry so much about, you can see the gun's clear. You don't have to worry so much about pinching your finger up or gloves or whatever between the bottom of the trigger and the trigger guard. But something that I found, if I'm just going standard trigger, again, I'm safe. If I'm going standard trigger, middle of the trigger and addressing middle of the trigger, I was somewhere around 3.5 pounds. If I came down to the bottom of the trigger, just basically flush with the trigger guard and drug the trigger guard, I was about 2.5 pounds.
Yeah.
So I still got a consistent pull and a consistent no matter whether I was up here, down here, but it's got some almost some little different characteristics about it that gives you that sports car feel to
Oh yeah.
where you can do different things and get more mileage out of it. But either way, it's a good trigger. It's a great trigger regardless. But now that action tuned, those action tuned parts and the marriage with Gray Guns has made that thing something unbelievable. If you're going to get one, go ahead and spend the extra couple $100 or whatever and get the
Well
action
worth
tuned
it.
variant because
Yes.
it's well worth the price of admission. Steel trigger, a lot of these high end guns you'll see they got a plastic trigger on them.
Yeah.
Like, oh come on, man! I'm spending. We did a review of a gun company not long ago, and unbelievable weapons, unbelievable guns, and they got a plastic trigger. I mean, come on. If you're going to
Yeah.
do it, let's at least throw something
You're
in
going to pay the
this.
price for it. Get the
Yeah,
metal
and I
trigger.
still love those particular weapons.
Yeah.
But
Of
anyway,
course.
this one you got steel. You got the steel trigger, and there's nothing as you're trying to go down and saying, well, I wish it had this or I wish it had this. There's not a whole lot of I wish it had that it doesn't have.
Yeah, from top to bottom. I mean, everything about them, from the sights all the way to the magwell. It's just it works. You got everything you need there, and this is probably Bobby right out of the box. Just go with it.
But like you hit on it earlier. This being center target is the place you can come in. One of the few places where you can come in, lay hands on one of these things without somebody
Yes.
standing over your shoulder saying, "So here it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch every move you make."
Yeah.
It's not like that. You can do anything
And
else. That
yeah,
you can troubleshoot this thing.
you can caress it if you want.
Yes.
The guy. I've done that. But Bobby. I've always said the reason I started coming here. And the reason I love coming here even now is I can walk in and just grab them. I talk more than I do anything when I'm here looking because I find myself,
Right.
talking to people. But you can come in and get a feel for them, look what they have, and you may see something next to it that you don't see. But every time you come in here, Bobby, whether it's looking for the Wilson Combat Sig weapon here, but you're going to find something different.
You
It's
are.
amazing.
And to go back to what you were talking about the way things are done here
Yeah.
at Center Target, when Joe and Sheena Robinson opened the store, and they told me about the concept
Yeah.
of this open, everybody being able to touch these things, everybody being able to lay hands on them. I thought, I don't like it. I don't like that at all. Old school. You
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
you need to make me hand you that gun and watch
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
100%. And then after I actually started playing around with it, and you hear people say, it's amazing that I can, and it's a wonderful thing. You're getting ready to spend, anywhere depending on what you're buying, three, four, $500 up to three or four, $5,000. You need to be able to lay hands on that thing.
You do.
You sell houses.
Yeah. Oh, I try to. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want the realtor just walking through with me. I want you to
No.
you can hit the high spots with me, but I want to be able to just my wife and I look through the house and say, we like this, talk behind the scenes, we
Exactly.
do like, and that is this concept that is Center Target, and that is Joe and Sheena Robinson's idea, as well as the range where you can take guns back and shoot them. And it was just a
Yeah.
concept to me. I was like, I don't think this is going to be a good idea. But hey, it's been unbelievably
What's
good.
funny is that I come in here one day and I never met Joe. And I come in here and I seen him in here, but I thought, well, he's just another guy, and
Yeah.
he is another guy, but he's a good guy,
Oh
and
yeah.
I love him to death. But I was getting I think the Sig Tap Pack,
Hmm.
and I was getting that, and I had no clue he owned the place, and after coming in here all this time and didn't know, but yeah, it's a family atmosphere here,
It
and
is.
they really take care of you, and you can ask any trust me, I've asked a ton of questions, and even I've been around firearms all my life, but it's still you can ask the questions you don't know, and if they don't know, they'll find somebody, and usually you have a couple of them talk to you once.
if you
And
if you ask for it,
it's all
we're not going
yeah,
to bombard you.
and it's great because you come in here, check it out, and it's a one-stop shop. You can do everything. Range memberships. You've got gift cards for those special holidays or whatever the case may be. Christmas, birthdays, gift cards are
Right.
great. Just everything. But the Combat, um, c- join up with Sig is probably my favorite out of all their team ups and all their collaborations. And Bobby, I tell you, this has been just it's something to see when you shoot them, you get to hold them, you get to check them out.
Yeah, and if you're in, and I know we this is a Wilson Combat video, but if you're in the store and you do see Joe and Sheena in here, thank them for what they've done as
Yeah,
far as
yeah,
this concept is, and I know we're deviating here a little bit, but one of the
it's
things,
okay.
and Sheena even said this, Sheena Robinson, whenever we first opened, she said, I the reason I like this concept is I don't want people buying something that they don't want.
Yeah,
If if they come in and they got $5,000 cash, but this $300 gun is the best one for them, that's the one I want them to
sure.
leave with. And that stuck with me, and just being a good business
It,
practice
it
and
is,
a
and
good way
it's
to do
like, and
business.
you teach, and I've taught classes where I've told people to do you when you come in and look
Yeah.
for your firearm, whether it be carry or whatever. Do you. Uh, these guys can help you, but bottom line, it's your money. It's what you're looking for.
Hmm.
But from top to bottom, you can find anything you want here. And we went from this to that, but it's
We're
it's just a
getting,
super. It's just
we just like talking.
just a super place. So come on by and check them out. Have classes on a regular
Hmm.
basis here. So check the website. Come in and check out the firearms, the accessories. I'm a big accessory guy. I like lights. I
Optics.
like
Okay.
optics. I just like I like the things that go along with them, and you can find everything here, and it's great. I mean, you can't beat it.
This channel, the more likes we get, the more people that
Sure,
subscribe, the more people you can get to subscribe, the more we're going to be able to do these, and we're also going to be able to start doing some giveaways as time goes on,
sure.
and as we're going to set, or the owners are going to set different milestones for us as far as when we get to X amount of subscribers, we're
deal.
going to give away something on here.
Yeah, so like and subscribe.
yeah,
That's the main
absolutely.
thing. I did get a great compliment for you the other day.
me?
Yes, I was out.
My
and,
dashing good looks. or
Well,
was it-
not only. I mean, that's a given. That's a given. You're
I,
manly.
I'm not
persona.
going to get one for that. I'm afraid.
But talking about, it, they said, Bobby knows a lot. I said, well, he should know a lot. He's around them all the time. He's ex-law enforcement. I said he should. And he said, Brett, you look a lot better on radio. And I thought, well,
Story
yeah.
of my life.
So there it is. There it is. But
Yeah.
it is a great place, and you can find these and many others here. And before we leave you, we're going to say thank you
Yes.
for all the support and all the comments we've been getting just on the street. So comment down below. Check us out, what you want to see, what you like about these, or any questions, and these guys answer it. And you can come by and check them out as well. You can actually feel it. I'm going to tell you something, folks. If you touch them, if you caress them, well, don't do it too long because they'll kind of look at you funny. You'll want one, and then you'll be happy. But Bobby, we're going to show some range footage.
Absolutely.
And we'll do that. But we'll see you next week.
God bless, guys.
All right, guys, we're back here on the range with the Wilson Combat Sig P320, and I've not shot this yet, so I'm going to. What I thought I would do is on the target, about 7 yards away, fire some slow fire, just kind of see how it groups. Maybe back up to about 10, fire some slow fire shots, and then maybe see if we can get some 2 rounds, see what our splits sound like or feel like, see what the reset feels like. And then maybe fire just a quick volley of rounds. But we'll kind of see. This is the maiden voyage for me on the Wilson P320. All right, decent grouping. Obviously didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to find that front sight, but decent little grouping. I've got as normal. I mix these rounds up as well, so that I don't want to shoot just a particular 115, 124. I know from an accuracy standpoint, I'll put this over here. From an accuracy standpoint, that may not be the best course of action, but we're trying to test the firearm and see if it's going to jam on anything, hang up on anything, act a little weird or a little different. And you can feel a little bit of felt recoil difference with some of the rounds that we're using. But we'll back up to about 10 here and see what we got. All right, still grouping pretty good. Got a little loose on 1 or 2 of them there, looks of it. But you can see even back to 10 yards. And I'm not really crazy bearing down on that front sight. I'm just bringing it up, finding the front sight, finding the rear sights, and pressing the trigger to the rear. So from an accuracy standpoint, and again back to 10 yards, doing good. I can fine tune this a lot more than where we are right now. But what I'm feeling right now is it's staying down good. It's very little felt recoil. Feels really sweet to shoot. So that can obviously come way in from there. So so far so good. Let's try some splits now. All right, decent grouping on the first. The pistol was doing its part, and I'll tell you, man, I love that trigger. I didn't test it, but it feels like it's somewhere around the 3-pound mark. Very crisp, very clean. These folks know how to do a trigger and how to do an action job because it is very smooth, very slick. So what I'm going to do now, and I don't have my timer out here, I apologize for that, but I'm going to do a couple splits. I'll probably do 3 2-round volleys just to kind of see where we are. I'm going to try to find that reset and try to see what I can do there. So you can kind of watch my finger or watch the muzzle and see if we're getting much rise on this. Okay, staying very flat, feeling very flat. So now I'm gonna fire, I tell you what, I'll just dump what's left. I think there's 5 or 6 rounds left in it, so I'll see what I got here. So watch the muzzle. I'll try to get a good grip on it here. I'll try to lean into it just a little bit. I'm gonna try to get 5 and see where we are. Okay, I'm out, I'm clear. You can see I'm clear. Let's go down. I was about 7, I got a flyer. 7, 8 yards away. 222, and then the 5 round. Got a little loose here with this one. That's all on me. But what I could tell, and I wish we'd have had the timer out here so we could have got a better feel for what those splits were. But it felt good. I don't know what it was on paper, but as far as feeling good, it felt really good, smooth. The thing I liked about it, how good it stayed down. Now, as we're going to talk about in the video, or as been discussed in the video, there are tungsten rods, different things you can do to add to this, to add just some weight for competition standpoint. But man, this is a really, really sweet weapon right here. And the folks at Wilson have taken an already good, really, really good unit, which is the Sig-320, and turned it into something spectacular. And I don't currently own one of these, but after this, I probably will. So, God bless. See you soon.